Wasabi guys, I'm going to be doing a top 10 of the best group hug cards in the Commander format. If you watch my other top 10s, you know I tend to give pretty decent advice. If you have your own opinions, your own suggestions, feel free to leave them. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I give a lot of good content. I have a lot of diversity in my videos. I give deck tacks, I do other top 10s, I do rants, I do talk about topics, so be sure to check those videos out. I'll appreciate any support that I can get. Before we get on to it, let's just go over what group hug is supposed to be. Those of you who don't know, there's only really two ways that you can play it. The first one's obviously have fun. You're not trying to win the game, you're not trying to be disruptive or oppressive, you're just trying to have fun and play the game the way it was meant to be in a multiplayer setting. It's a casual format. Group hug decks tend to embrace that. And of course, if you do want to win, the best way of doing that is making yourself the least optimal target for attacks, targeted removal, etc. It's really the best way to play the game. Some of the best challenges is making a competitive deck out of a group hug style. That's some of the most rewarding experiences when you can win with a group hug deck in a multiplayer game with other extremely competitive decks. It's not likely to happen. In fact, it probably won't happen, but you never know. So number 10, Forbidden Orchard. Now, if we ignore the combos here with Oath of Druids, it is a really good card in Commander. Mana fixing is so important. You can play 4-color decks, 5-color decks. Giving someone a 1/1 token is not that big of a deal if you can get mana fixing, and also it makes it to where down the road, if you need help from someone, chances are whoever you've been giving the tokens to is most likely going to come to your defense in a political situation down road in the game. Number 9, Zed Roo the Great-Hearted. Now, there are very dickish ways that you can play her, but for the most part, you can be a good player with Zed Roo. You can be a very group hug-centric player. Give your opponents good stuff, or give them stuff that isn't going to hurt them. There's a whole bunch of nasty things that you can give them. If you want to play her in the group hug style, it most certainly will work. There are ways that you can do it to where you're helping out someone else take down someone who may be the oppressor or the disruptor. You're not going to be the extreme control combo deck. You're basically there to help equalize the game, and she's very political in that sense, and that's why I love her. Number 8 is Upwelling. Now, here's a way to make a ton of friends. Just be careful you're not playing this at the worst possible time. Upwelling will give some decks an extreme advantage over others, but it's just great. 4 mana. Mana pools don't empty during phases or the end of turns. Just incredible. People are not going to want to attack you. Just an absolutely ridiculous card to just drop onto the field. Number 7 is Selvala Explorer Return. Now, she is a very interesting group hug option. She gives you life gain and mana depending on what cards are at the top of your opponent's deck, as well as your own. Very interesting. Not the best one, but definitely a very good option at Commander. One of the best group hug commanders before the most recent Commander series came out, Felda Grif. Now, for those of you that don't know, this was the iconic group hug style commander. The white mana, you can pay it, gains flying until end of turn, target opponent gains 2 life. Pay a blue, return it to your hand, opponent draws a card. Or you could pay a green, gains trample, target opponent gets a 1/1 token. So much fun. Not extremely competitive, but again, with group hug, you're just there to enjoy the ride, enjoy whatever fun scenarios you can create, and Felda Grif has and will be one of the most enjoyable cards to play with and experiment with. Number 5 is Rites of Flourishing. When you drop this, suddenly you are everybody's best friend, giving people extra card draw in the Howling Mind form, while also giving someone extra land drops. You can't ask for anything better than that. People will never attack you if you drop this unless they absolutely have to. So helpful to everyone else. It pretty much embodies what we're talking about with group hug strategies. Number 4 is Oblation. Unfortunately, when you are playing group hug, you do not always have the very best options when it comes to removal. With Oblation, it gives you the ability to say, hey, I know what you're doing right now. I don't want you to do it, but please don't hate me for getting rid of it. And it shovels it into their library, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be able to get it back that easily. There's a chance that they could get it back, but it's a great way to say, hey, don't be mad at me, I'm giving you card draw. You just can't have that card right now. I want to enjoy the game longer. That's what the card really is, and it's awesome. Number 3 is the newest commander, Kineos and Tyro of Miletus. And oh boy, are they just awesome. These are the perfect colors for group hug. Non-black pretty much embodies everything that you want in a group hug deck. You can play all of it. You can play Zed Roo, you can play Felda Grif, you can play Selvala, all of them. All their strategies, you can sort of lump it into one in Kineos and Tyro decks, and it's just perfect. You get card draw at your end step, and you get extra land drops your end step too. Can't really ask it for anything better than that. The pinnacle of group hug is everything that you want to do with these colors, and it's just awesome. I cannot stress that, yes, you're not giving yourself the extreme competitive advantage when you choose one of these commanders, but that doesn't mean you won't have some of the best experiences when it comes to playing with them. Number 2 is Homeward Path. Now, if you ever have a situation suddenly protect the whole group from losing to an effect like Insurrection or Rise from the Dark Realms or anything that can take control of other people's creatures, this is definitely the card to play. All you have to do is just tap it, and suddenly everybody's creatures are under their control again. And it works against the other strategies where people use haste enablers, take control of other people's creatures, and sack them. And group hug doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to give everything to your opponents and nothing for yourself. This embodies what group hug really is. It's giving everybody equal advantage, and that's what Homeward Path definitely does. And that's why it's on this list at number 2. Number 1 is Howling Mine. Shouldn't be a surprise. Fits into pretty much every group hug deck. It fits into every single deck that wants to play it. And why the hell not? It's 2 mana, colorless. It's played in decks like Nekasar, yes, that are extremely competitive and they hurt people. They try to win as quickly as possible, but it's a staple in group hug. Every group hug deck plays it. It's card draw. It's an advantage. It's consistency. As soon as you drop this, and this is one of the earliest cards that you can play in a group hug deck, people fall in love with you immediately. And you can go throughout the entire game without feeling this pressure of people hating on you. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this top 10 list. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, check out my other top 10s. I do a whole bunch of other shit too. Check that out. Void Mage Gamer here, signing off. Thanks for watching.